for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, will you, well, I'm just gonna read off who is here. How's that? Councilor Burk is here. Councilor Edwards is here. Councilor deMedeiros is not here. Treasurer Saurette is not here. Clerk Chabot is here as well. Sitting in with us tonight are the town administrator, Christopher Cotta, and the town solicitor, Michael Marcel. So I realize we forgot to do one thing, and I don't think we can do this, Michael. We forgot to put on voting on chair. Because technically we don't have one. So I will facilitate unless somebody disagrees with that. And then next meeting, we'll have to put that back on.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
So does that mean I'm not secretary?
Will you please, Joan? Will you please?
Oh,
So I'm trying to find, and I was looking earlier, unless Michael or Joan, you have the last marked up copy with the personnel changes, so we can, I have a way to bring that forward.
So I think Joan sent me, I wasn't sure what Joan sent me the other day, earlier today, but let me grab it.
Was that it, Joan?
I just sent it to Mike to ask if
Yeah.
he had an update.
Okay.
So I did send him the last version.
I wasn't, yeah, so I was a little confused by it because I don't, maybe I didn't attend the last meeting. I think that's what happened, so I don't remember, but let me send this to you, Mike, so you can pull it up, I guess.
Okay.
So did we all have a copy of that at one time? Because if
Yeah.
we did, I can't find it.
Let me send it to, Mike. I think he can, who can I forward it to?
Oh, wait a minute, here it is.
So Mike, I just sent it to your Tiverton address
Okay.
and town administrator as well.
This is the one where all the department and agencies was all in red. Is that it?
Well, mine is dated, mine says proposed personnel. Well, it's
Yeah.
I think it has a date on it, but
Doesn't have a date on it, just says draft.
yeah, it's got the draft embedded in it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's the last thing that I think I did.
That's the last thing I remember you doing.
Yeah, once I get it, I'll open it and share it. It's just taking a minute.
It's been so long since we've been on Zoom.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
I had to update my software, Zoom software, to get on.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
made me do it too.
I did that on my work computer earlier today, so I purposely tried to do it earlier today on my own computer, and it didn't do it. And then when I opened it up for this meeting, of course, it said, "Oh, I'm going to update you automatically." Gee, thanks.
Fortunately, it only took a couple of minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Michael, that has not come through to me.
Actually, I thought I was going to have a problem because I canceled my Zoom account.
Oh, no, you won't have a problem. Not with, if somebody invites you to one, you
Right.
should still be able to get on. It's whether or not you want to create one.
Well, I only bought it when I thought I'd need it for budget because we weren't sure what the town was doing, and I just never got rid of it for some silly reason.
I just sent it again, Mike.
Okay, I do.
Chris, did you get it?
What are we looking for down here?
I just sent you an email with the proposed personnel amendments by relevant section. It's called, it's the document.
It's like 5 pages.
I have not received it as yet. The title of the document is,
It is, the title of the document is Tiverton Charter Review Draft 11/18/2021. With the, when you open the document, it says proposed personnel amendments by relevant section related to certain department heads and personnel procedures. I just emailed it to both you and Mike. Still didn't get it, Mike?
Not yet. It's still sending and receiving.
Huh.
I know, that's weird. But neither one of us have, it sounds like.
Joan, did you get it? I mean, John emailed it to Joan, but do you have it?
Who?
so this is
Joan.
proposed personnel amendments by relevant section.
Yeah,
So I found it from the 11/22 meeting.
Was it in
The
an email,
from
Chris?
11/22 email. So hang
Oh,
on.
from who? From who? All
From Joan.
right, because I was looking through my emails earlier and I couldn't find it, but
So hang on, let me see if I can.
share the screen.
well, if I can find it, I'll share. As attachments.
So I'm gonna forward it back to everybody. So
I've got it, Chris.
Can you
Oh, you
share
do?
the screen, Chris? Can you share it? Can you pull it up and then share your screen?
hang on, let me see if I can do that. That's another way of doing it. Let's see, Zoom.
Yeah, I don't have an email from Joan on 11/22. I have the one that you sent out for the meeting of 11/22. Is that what you're talking about, Chris?
So this one here, is this it?
That's it. That's what I
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
That's one I
Can you all,
have.
can you all see it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, Michael, here's what I'm gonna do. Based on previous discussions among members of the and with the town solicitor, I would like to put forth these proposed amendments to the personnel procedure within the charter. Does that sound like a good motion?
Yeah, that's fine. So I want to just make sure that Joan had sent me an email. Were there changes that needed to be made to this, Joan?
Yeah, in the email I sent you, it's part of the meeting minutes from the 11/22 meeting. And we had gone over sections 407, 502, 901, 902, 903, and 1007. And no changes were needed for 407, 502, and 901. For 902A, minor changes, remove wording in specific wording in several areas of responsibility.
Let me
Change
just find that.
chief of police to police chief.
So 902A,
Yeah,
there shall be a police department, the head of which shall be, I say, the chief of police. So you want to change that to police chief?
Yep.
All right, I can do that.
And Michael, yours just finally came through.
Oh, really? Okay, police
Yeah.
chief. We shall serve at least 5 years, blah, blah, blah. And then, so every where it says, okay, so then it'll be police chief. Shall be empowered, shall be.
and
Upon the recommendation of the chief of police, police chief, let's get rid of that. So recommendation of the
Well,
police chief.
so Chris, if you go to 902, section 902. So it was to change the chief of police to police chief. And then on the fifth line where it said several areas of responsibility. That's where you wanted that removed, Chris.
On A, is it, where's that?
902A.
Oh, yeah, and so during those years have gained a community experience yeah, you wanted to remove in several areas of responsibility?
Yep.
Okay, was that the decision of the board, of the rest of, well, is that the decision of the board members?
Yeah, that was what the last meeting.
I believe that's,
So, and Jay, Joan, are
Okay.
you too comfortable with that?
Yeah, I wasn't there, but that's fine.
So it's gonna read it, there shall be a police department, blah, blah, head of, there shall be a police department, the head of which shall be the police chief, who shall have served at least 5 years in the rank of lieutenant or higher in any organized law enforcement agency, and any such other qualifications. Oh, no, what happened there? And any such, and any such other qualifications as set by the town council pursuant to 407(9) of this charter.
Michael, does it make sense, since you're working on this as we go through it, for you to share? Are you able to?
Here's the problem with that. I can't
Oh,
because I'm on two
okay.
different computers.
Oh, okay, got it. Never mind.
Good. So I made that change. Once I'll make these changes, I'll send it to everybody again, but
Yeah, okay.
who's making the changes right now? Who's making it green?
Well, Chris is highlighting them in green.
Okay. All right, that's good. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Joe, what was the
So
next
everybody-
change?
And everybody's okay with changing chief of police to police chief, correct?
yeah, I got
And when I say everybody, I'm talking to the voting members.
Right, I'm just
Joan
a
and Jay.
fan here tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
The last sentence, one needs to be reviewed. Last sentence of 107B. So,
And then you were in section 903, 903A. You were going to spell out EMT.
903A.
Yeah. It's sort of like towards the end of the paragraph. Right there.
What is, okay, emergency medical technician, right?
Yep,
Oh, okay.
Yes.
you were going to spell that out.
Emergency medical
Technician.
Okay.
And then on going down to section 107,
107, yep.
107B,
Yeah.
keep going, because it was a
Yeah,
new
we're-
B, general provisions. You were going to
eliminate part-time.
separate into paragraphs.
I thought we discussed at one time removing part-time from this.
So we're gonna say the hiring of all full-time and part-time personnel shall be done through the personnel board. The applicant department head shall be invited to attend interviews, assist the board in questioning applicants and make recommendations. Employment shall be based on merit and competitive exams when applicable, and shall be free of all personal political consideration. That's fine. Temporary, seasonal, or acting employees shall be appointed by the town administrator as long as the appointment shall not exceed 100 calendar days. Though such appointment may exceed 100 calendar days, but may be extended for additional 90 calendar days. Yeah, excuse me, calendar day period with the approval of the town council. This is the town is an equal opportunity employer and shall not discriminate on the basis of sex, sexual orientation, or identity, race, creed, or national origin.
Yeah, I think we wanted that to apply to everything.
So we're gonna do it like that?
So correct, it would be general provisions as the main paragraph, and then the other, then you'd put hiring down as a
Oh,
sub.
you got like a B1, you mean? Like split it
Yeah,
up?
I think so. It'd be B1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
Okay, so B1, hold on.
I see what you did, okay.
All right, so one will be the
Okay.
hiring.
So Chris, no, if you keep general provisions, just go backwards till you get back to where you were with general provisions.
I
Keep going
will.
until you get the numbering.
I gotta get rid of that, what I did there.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Just go backwards. Just go backwards.
Oh, I said the hiring of full-time and part-time will be one, well, that'll be one, and then this is employment and it was based on merit. Then two will be temporary seasonable.
Go backwards again. Now.
Yeah.
Just hit enter at where you're at now, where your cursor is.
I did that. It makes it C though.
I know. Go ahead, hit enter.
No, I think I got it. All right, so I made it B 1, 2, 3, right? That's what the
Okay.
goal was?
Mhm.
Under
Yeah,
general
so
provisions?
it says general provisions, then 1, 2, 3, correct?
All right, so it'll be B1, B2, yep. And then
Yeah.
that means at the end of it, I think that, all right. All right, now I'm going to send this to both Chris and Mike, so you can look at it
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Hold on.
before you.
I'm glad to see somebody else had a problem doing this besides me.
Just try that now. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Something's beeping in my oven. Sorry.
As long as it's not burning.
I know.
Okay, I have the new one. I'll pull it up. Oh, wait. Oh, here's the new one.
There you go.
That should be a little B.
So Chris, you still working off the old one?
I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that because we have this new one from Mike that I'll
Okay.
pull up in a second. All right, so here's the new one from Mike. Once he gets back, we can.
Okay.
I was gonna say it smells good, but that's because Cena's cooking something, so I don't know what, if Mike smells good or not.
Can't quite smell it from here, but
I'll tell him that when he gets on though.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, whatever you're cooking, Mike, it smells really good.
They got the Zoom smell-o-vision feature, I see. You got the extra.
Yeah.
That was the update.
You got the update.
Yeah, no, Cena's busy cooking some steak, I think, so that's what I smell. And it smells good.
So did everyone get what I just sent you?
So that's what we're seeing right now. So
Okay.
if you want to walk me through it, Mike.
Yep.
So there's nothing on this 407 section, no
Correct.
changes. First change is here.
No, not the yellow. That was just left over.
Oh, that's left over?
Well, I'm sorry. That's and that's additional language that we're saying, including those that establish qualifications for hiring. So this is powers of the town council.
Right, so we are going to have to vote on whether or not to accept that change.
Yep, correct.
Yep, okay. Is it, so everybody take a look at that and again, Jay and Joan especially, take a look at that.
So this is basically, if you recall, when we had the general discussion, we thought it was better to allow the town council to set, other than some minimum qualifications, any additional qualifications when they post a job, and they can, but they have to do so by ordinance. So we take it out of the charter because it gives a little bit more flexibility, and we put it in an ordinance.
okay.
And we'll take a vote at the end, but just to make sure everybody's is comfortable with that. to
And
move
that would be
forward
an
with.
ordinance that would have to be renewed every whatever
No,
the
ordinance.
sub-period is.
Ordinance, not policy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you would probably, like, I would assume that if like, say you're gonna hire a new fire chief, and anticipation of that, you might review the qualifications and say you might wanna, maybe you have I don't know, maybe you want someone to have a specialty in some kind of field that something came up in town or something, maybe in infectious diseases or something, who knows, right? So,
So it would be an ordinance for a specific case or a specific hiring.
well,
It would not necessarily apply to the next.
Right. Well, no, I mean, once it's in the ordinance, it's there until it's changed. But the idea is it's a lot harder to change a charter than an ordinance. So,
agree.
like right now, like we have an associate's degree requirement for the fire chief, and our current fire chief, had all the experience, but didn't have the associate's degree. So technically, we have a charter violation there. But the council kind of looked the other way. So we're just trying to.
Okay, so then in 3 years, if you had to hire another fire chief, you would make a decision whether to keep that ordinance or change it at that time.
Correct. Or at any time, really.
At any time.
At any time.
Probably-
But
probably
that would
good
only
practice.
apply to that position.
Correct. Right.
Yeah, okay.
And
got
it's
it.
probably good practice for the administrator to review them regularly. Chris, you have your hand up.
Oh, I do?
Oh, yeah.
On the screen.
I'm
I think
supposed
he's
to
looking
be.
for. No, Chris, you can't share my meal with me. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to send Denise the invite
The
for
link.
tonight.
Okay, so now moving down to town administrator qualifications.
Same issue. So the qualification for appointment time minister are a bachelor's degree. So again, we set the minimum. So he's got to have at least a bachelor's with 5 years experience, administrative experience or equivalent experience in any other such other qualifications as determined by the town council pursuant to 4709 of this charter. So again, that allows the council to add other qualifications. So say you guys were in a financial quagmire, or you needed something to do with federal funding or a specialty, and you wanted to put that in there, or other things, you would be able to do that by ordinance. Basically, it allows the town council to add other qualifications as necessary without putting them into the charter.
We just have to
Joan,
meet
Jay.
these bare minimums.
Yeah, you're trying to get the bare minimum, right?
Okay.
Joan, you good? Move on. All right, now we're on DPW director. Similar
Right.
language.
And again, just adding that language in there, any such other qualifications as set forth by the town council pursuant to 4079, which is the one that we just talked about. So that's give you guys the general authority to set qualifications. Nothing else here.
We
really
did the
changed.
same in police department under
Correct,
saying any organized law enforcement agency was the other change.
correct.
Can you fix the spelling of police chief?
Yeah,
Where's that?
later on in the bottom
Right.
graph where you see.
Oh,
the
yeah, I
little
can do that. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, and actually just take out a piece right after that too. Missed that. I'll do it here,
I can do
just
it.
so people, yeah, just so we can see it.
There you go.
Oops.
Okay, yep, that's done.
So you're keeping the master copy, so I'm not going to worry about
Yeah, don't worry, yeah.
track changes in.
And I'm gonna have to go through and make sure, actually show the strikeouts and additions when we get
Yeah.
this.
Do we have to
Fire,
have,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
do we need to have anything here about probation periods, or is that assumed?
It's already in the charter, I believe.
Okay.
Isn't it in the contract?
And it could be in the contract as well.
Fire department, so the fire chief, again, same issue, same thing there, Michael, right?
Yep,
And so we're striking the associate's degree and the 5 years experience.
correct.
Generally okay, Joan and Jay?
Probably emergency medical technicians should be plural.
Probably.
Yeah. Technicians, just like the other ones.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay. So this is the one we we're just looking at as well, full and part-time personnel board accepts and reviews applications for all full-time, full and part-time job vacancies. So in conjunction with, I'm just going to scroll down because under the general provisions, we have the town administrator doing temporary, seasonal, or acting employees. Is it clear enough? I think I'm asking Michael really from a legal perspective that is that what's in 2 here is not a subset of what's in A here.
No, because when you post a job, you either post it as full, part-time, or temporary, seasonal. That's how it's posted. So that will determine.
Okay. Okay.
Those are the categories that you can post jobs for: full, part-time, and then seasonal, temporary, or whatever the thing is. Now, the purpose of this is to take the temporary, right, is to take the, can you just scroll down a little bit, Mike? Oh, yeah, to allow someone to be an acting employee without going through the personnel board, right? I forgot we had an issue, I can't remember with what department, but,
Lifeguards.
oh, lifeguards, yeah.
So that begs the question then, who accepts the applications for the temporary, seasonal, et cetera? Because for
Town admin-
example,
Yeah.
well, I believe right now, at least by practice, oh no, it's been going to the personnel board, right?
Yep.
For the lifeguards, yeah. So,
Yep, it's all of them. So like the beach commissioner or the parks commissioner or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
The person who, it's only a couple, 6 to 8 weeks that they work.
right.
They all go through the personnel board with the recommendation of the Recreation Commission. But then we had to get them on the town council agenda to get them, no, not town council, was it the
Rec commission.
Rec Commission? Oh.
Yeah, I think so. So we don't need to specify that those go to the town administrator and are dealt with by the town administrator, Michael?
What does it say? Keep going
So
down.
for the receipt of the applications, it's not for the appointment, it's for the receipt of the applications and review of the applications.
Well, so the personnel boards get full, the personnel boards get the full and part-time job vacancies. They do get, let's just see. Temporary seasonal shall be appointed. Oh, I guess, so we say that, yeah, so do you want to say seasonal, temporary, or acting employees shall apply?
So
to
maybe
and be
just-
appointed by- Shall apply to and be appointed by, I don't know.
Maybe in here, all applications for temporary, seasonal, and acting employees shall be, what's the language up here?
Submitted to, oh,
Accepted and reviewed.
shall accept.
Shall be accepted and reviewed by the town administrator.
What is an acting employee?
When we have an acting town administrator, sometimes. An
Oh, okay,
acting
okay.
department head, generally it's for
It would
those
be a
level
department. It wouldn't be the
positions.
town administrator because you have a charter provision for that.
Oh,
but-
yeah. But it's, yeah, you might have, I think, Chris, you could have an acting lieutenant or something like that in one of the safety
Okay.
departments. So I think if you just did that and then kept the rest of it,
Yeah, I'm just doing that right now, just typing in.
are you guys okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
It just provides clarity from my perspective anyway.
Well, let me ask about one specific employee who is not an employee, and that is the harbor master. Do we have to do anything with that?
I think we already have. I'll pull up the charter.
Because right now, they're sort of,
That's an appointed by the council, right?
well, but they're presented by the Harbor Commission,
And that's by, I think, ordinance.
but they don't go through the Personnel Board, I don't believe.
No, I don't think they do.
No,
That's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah, no, good point. Where do I have the charter?
And it's been mentioned a few times that they are not employees, they're sort of stipend employees. Not to be difficult.
It's not being difficult, it's being precise. Come on, I can't get that to come up. There we go. Just give me a second to grab the charter.
I've got mine somewhere.
Section 1008. Page 23.
Yeah, my, okay, why did you
Be right back.
do that?
So the harbor master shall be appointed annually by the town council. When a new harbor master is to be appointed, the selection process shall comply with provisions of the charter concerning the hiring of municipal employees.
Oh, okay.
So he would be treated as an employee, even though he's appointed by the town council.
So,
I just wasn't aware that the personnel board interviewed them.
so
They- they
you
may.
said, you said
Page
page 20.
23, section 1008C.
Okay, you guys can see what I'm scrolling through? Okay.
Yeah. Right there.
Right there. So I want to have Michael back on this because, right, so we just created two methods for municipal employees. Two different hiring processes. We have one for full and part-time and one for everybody else.
Right.
So which one? So Michael?
Yeah.
If you look at what I have up now, harbor master is appointed annually, blah, blah, blah. In complies with the provisions of the charter concerning the hiring of municipal employees. So do we have to specify which section?
So I would say under section 1008C, where it says, when a new harbor master is to be appointed, the selection process shall comply with provisions of the charter concerning the hiring of municipal employees that require town council ratification.
So are we going to treat him as a full-time employee or temporary?
We'd be treated, because it says that the town council will appoint annually. I would
Sounds
think that they
temporary.
would want to weigh in when they hire a new one.
So that's not, so my question is, so Chris, you're suggesting it continues to go through the personnel board process?
Personnel board, and it would require council approval ratification.
Yeah, I think,
So-
that- I think,
Not
I think,
like a hiring a police officer or a lifeguard or anything like those. That
And
would-
so my question is a technical question. Michael, do you think we need to specify here concerning the hiring of municipal employees in accordance with whatever that personnel board section was?
so we could make that to make it clear. So you're basically saying it's gonna go through the personnel board they're gonna review and accept the applications, basically.
That's not what
Yes.
happens today.
It's not?
For a harbor master?
No.
Okay,
That doesn't happen today.
What happens now?
The harbor master, the head of the harbor commission presents the person to the town council, a recommendation, and we act on it. Is that correct, Joe?
But that's for the reappointment annually, the annual reappointment. So in other words, he's only appointed annually. He has an annual appointment.
Right, so
Right.
it's a new, so say Tyler decides he doesn't want to do it anymore, then we gotta start a whole process over again.
Then I
Yes.
think.
And I think it has to go to personnel board, yes.
Right, and it would take the town administrator to make a selection, but it would require the ratification of the town council, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
So it would be treated like a department head almost.
I'm just not aware of any other town employee that has to reapply every year.
No, there is none that I'm aware of.
So it's almost like he's a temporary employee that just happens to be a year.
Well, don't forget, he's really,
So we do have other employees that would be part-time, like the beach commissioner or the parks commissioner, that
Okay.
recreation may want to appoint annually. But it doesn't go before the town council.
what about your senior services, senior center person? Is that up?
She's considered to be a department head, so she would be,
Department head, yeah.
she doesn't get reappointed every year. She has a contract, an employment contract.
So right now, when the harbor master, he doesn't fill out an application, does he?
So no, he
Not that I'm aware
doesn't.
of.
Not a reappointment.
So what we asked the Harbor Commission to do is to make a recommendation for his reappointment. If they're not satisfied with him, then they wouldn't recommend him to be reappointed.
And we'd go out and advertise for
Right
that
on.
position.
Right.
And
That
they'd
would go to the
apply,
personnel board. It would take a vetting by the town administrator. And then it would ultimately make a contract, and approval of the hiring and contract would be ratified by the town council.
okay,
And
so
you
it
have
wouldn't
a,
be like a board or commission.
No. Now,
Okay.
I would assume at that point, we would ask the Harbor Commission to be at those interviews, because we would want to make sure that they were going through the process of vetting the individual, so that they would be happy with what the selection was.
And bear in mind, in this particular case, there's a 2-month window to act on that.
So the ordinance 1442 speaks to this. Recommendations for harbor master shall be submitted to the council by October of each year by the THCWMC. Tiverton Harbor Commission. What's
Coastal
the?
Waters, it's the Tiverton Harbor and Coastal Waters Management.
Okay.
That's section 1008 of the charter.
So it
So
does.
the way I read this is that if it's a new employee, new harbor master, brand new, fresh, they got to apply through the personnel board, but they still then, once those applications are reviewed or whatever, then they're hired, then they submit it through the submit it to the town council, I guess, for their recommendation. Let me look at, that's just one office that we're worried about. Let's approve this general thing, and we can come back to the
Okay.
harbor commission,
So is there any, oops, I'm on the wrong document now.
and I'll look at it.
So I think that was the last
That was the last change.
modification.
Yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion from Joan or Jay to approve the proposed modifications. Approve and propose the personnel modifications to the charter. Hang on. Here's what I want to do. I want to, in one motion, agree to the modifications or not, and recommend them to the council or not.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Let's do it. Let's do that in two motions, Mike. Let's do that too.
Okay, we'll do two motions. So first motion is that the members of this subcommittee approve the proposed modifications to the personnel sections of the charter as
Currently
presented.
written. Okay, I'll make that motion.
Joan, will you second?
Yep.
Any further discussion? And Chris, are you monitoring the public? Because I see there's at least one guest, so I don't know if anybody has.
Hang on. My guest was Denise.
Oh, okay.
Denise didn't-
She's out now. She's out.
Oh, she's moving over. I just promoted her.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Okay,
just promote her, okay.
there we are. Denise, you were our what do you call it on the dating game? The person in the other room that you
Mystery
can't see?
Square or whatever.
The mystery guest. She's not
She's
there
on
anymore.
mute. She's on mute.
Yeah, well, she's probably getting dinner is my
She may be
guess.
upside down
Oh.
too.
All right, so,
So anyway,
I'll give
I
me
hear no
outside
com-
doing some business.
so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. I'm just going to go through Councilor Edwards,
Aye.
Clerk Chabot,
Yes,
and myself a yes. So it's unanimous.
so, okay.
yes.
So, what I'll do, I need the next motion, but what I'll do is I'll work with Joan. I'll put these in, assuming you vote to send them to the council, I'll put these in a form that the council can adopt as a charter change with the explanation, whatever the charter requires, so we can get this behind us if you guys vote to recommend to the council. But before we get there, I want to put them in the proper format and stuff.
Yep.
Okay. So
And
now
So-
we need a
then
motion.
the council can have a discussion about whether they're going to adopt it or not.
So Michael, would you see that as possible for the second meeting in January, or would you say the first meeting in February?
I'll try to get it for the second meeting in January, but but definitely by the first
Okay.
meeting in February. So we get this behind us and you can focus on the FTR issue.
Okay. So Jay, you were going to make a motion.
So now we make a motion to deliver the modifications to the council
Yep, for their consideration.
for their consideration. Okay.
Joan, would you like to second that, Joan?
It's hard to write.
I know.
We're recording this, so that's a good thing.
That's true.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Edwards,
Yes.
Clerk Chabot,
Yes,
Councilor deMedeiros, I don't know if you know what we're doing, so I don't know if you want to just abstain or keep.
I see your
or
head
want me to
moving.
Bring you up to speed. You're still on mute. I will vote yes. And let's see if Denise can, there we go.
Mike, just go on. I'm trying to get on the internet,
Okay,
and that's why
Okay.
I'm finally
Yep.
got on. So,
yeah,
yeah.
you're on, we can see you.
We see the top of your head.
What are you having for dinner? That's what I want to know.
I'm
Okay,
gonna stop the video now.
so 3-2, and I'm gonna say abstain for President deMedeiros.
All right, so that's done. Thank you guys for that.
So did we want to go back to the harbor master, or?
Let me give you guys a memo on the harbor master, how I think this will fit in at the next,
Okay.
next meeting.
Does it make sense for us to ask Michael to look at any other similar things in the charter for other positions like the harbor master? I don't know if there are too many, if any, but Chris, what are your thoughts on that?
He's the oddball.
The only thing that I would say is we were limited to the process of appointments, not necessarily and we were also limited to those things that we could look at as far as the qualifications.
Correct.
So I don't want to go too far astray.
I think
Okay.
that's pretty much all of them,
Yeah.
Okay,
but I'll go through it myself and double check, but
all right, so the FTR piece. Let me stop sharing this. Okay. We've had some discussion on this in that previous group that we had. I have a sense, and let me just play this out with you guys. I have a sense that there seems to be at least some level of agreement among the voting members that we should move to a model that is more similar to Portsmouth. Would that be an accurate statement, Joan and Jay? I see Jay.
I
nodding.
think so.
yeah, I think we were headed in that direction.
Okay. So if it is the pleasure of this group, I would be happy to work with the solicitor to come back to us with some proposed language regarding that. Joan, I asked though that you think about with such a process, any timelines that you would be concerned about paying attention to from holding, and Chris as well, you know, from a budgeting perspective as well as just from the electoral process perspective, Joan?
Yep. Yeah, because there's a lot of time in there for what needs to happen to get the ballot set. So there's a whole process to get that done. And I think in the current process, it's a month, but I want to double check that. I know they usually get it done quicker because it's usually off season. So it's not like everybody's in the state is doing something. So that's why on the general election, you have to have it done by August. So with this, I think there was a month, and I'll review that.
Okay.
And then there's timing so that the bills can get sent out from the, you know, the billing software, the tax
Oh,
software.
Yeah. So if Chris, you could talk to Denise about Saurette about those timelines too.
Does the, sorry to interrupt, would the, other than that, so if I understand the Portsmouth process, and I haven't looked at it, it's that some group proposes a budget, whether it's the town council or the budget committee, that's not going to change. But if someone wants to challenge it, they have to get signatures, so many signatures, and then that becomes a challenge instead of submitting. Okay, but the overall process of submitting a budget still would remain with an elected budget committee. That's what the intent is.
Well, I don't think they have an elected budget committee.
I don't.
So not necessarily.
Okay, well, I just want, yeah, I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a discussion point, but they don't have that, and I just pulled it up. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the realistic things you need to look at is that you have a budget committee correct right now that's elected. You're having difficulty having people run for it, number one, and you're kind of like, you know, nobody wants to run for it, and then now you're down to appointing people who are really not elected at all.
Right. So here we go. That's.
But I
Going back
said
to my-
something about.
I'm going back to my oven, excuse me.
So here's Portsmouth's. Wait, what are you looking at? What do you see in front of you?
I see.
Cooperative. Does it say
Cooperative.
712 at the top?
Yep, 712 budget.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is Portsmouth's charter. Budget. So the school committee proposes to the town administrator by a certain date. Blah, blah, blah. Why?
What's the number on this? This is Portsmouth, right?
This is Portsmouth. I'm trying to make sure I have the right. I don't
Well,
think I have the right.
have a section.
I don't think
two.
I don't think I have the right section.
I'm
So
in section 200 where it talks about budgets
Okay.
for Portsmouth.
Yeah, well, I clicked on something that said budgets, but I was obviously on the wrong budgets page.
So it starts with,
There we go.
well, the whole thing starts
Here we go.
with town council.
Yeah. So the town and school budget received by the
you go.
administrator. He or she has 30 days. Blah, 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 can only alter the total amount for the school. Notifications within 30 days of approval and publication of provisional. Wait a minute. Administrators recommend. Oh, this is for the council. So the council is going to be reviewing the budget.
Yeah, the
And
council pretty much
Yeah.
develops and approves it.
yeah, and that's published as a provisional budget. You get input. There's some certain timeframes in there. Upon completion of that, a public hearing on the provisional budget. Within 1 month following, you have public hearings, referendum petitions within 2 weeks of the adoption. Then there could be referendum petitions. There's some timeframes in there. So where is?
So if you're looking for petitions,
No, I'm not. I'm looking for the
Okay.
beginning of this process.
section 208 budgets at the top.
I was in 208, but it starts with 9. I know what I'm doing. Let me go back to the.
Well,
We're
it sort of
talking about-
starts with the town council, and then you get into what their duties are. One is to adopt all town budgets.
I think we're at 9:12 before.
That's
Oh,
Uh,
sorry, 9:00.
that's okay.
There's 712 is the school committee budget.
Right. So they give it to the town administrator. Right, but anyway,
Yeah, they
Oh,
don't
I
have,
just-
I mean,
I just sent you all something that Rich Rayner from Portsmouth sent me.
I got that a while ago, yeah.
yeah, that wasn't very helpful.
So, but I think I can have him send me the charter provisions that outline it.
Is that the one that says here is the process? It's never been done.
Yeah,
done
that's it. Because originally he told me there was none, but then he said that he thought there was some arcane rule, and there is an arcane rule to it. And it's been, I do know it's been exercised. I think at least once. back
once,
in-
yeah,
at a big
mid
campaign over.
mid 2000s maybe.
Yeah, maybe early. Yeah, so it was probably around 2008 when we all went through the crisis. You know, the financial downturn back then. I think they had the same issues.
So are you
But I'll get
Okay
them
with-
later exactly what the charter provisions are.
okay? And then I'll work something up. Joan can get me dates. Chris, you can get me any time or
Good.
timelines, I should say, timelines.
All right.
And we'll go from there. Hopefully we can have something. Do you want to, can we plan on having another one of these before the meeting on the 24th? Is it the 24th, June? I think so.
The second meeting in January is the 24th.
Yeah,
The
so are
first
we,
meeting in February is the 14th.
so do we want to meet on the 24th? Or do we want to meet on this, the February meeting? Knowing that, you know, this is something we are going to have to move fairly quickly on at this point.
I would try to do the 24th to try to get at least something. Then we
Okay.
can cobble it together on the 14th, and hopefully we can try to package this up quickly and, you know,
All right,
obviously it'd be nice to have a condensed version of these significant changes that are gonna take place, that, you know, it's council's willing to do it, but it's gotta get prepared to get on, you know, obviously to move forward for whatever ballot initiative would be during the next fall.
right.
So, and I'm sure we'd want to have some public hearings and those kind of things to go through this.
Yep.
And we've
Okay.
agreed on what the most important things that need to be addressed are, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
also think-
so,
Yeah, I think it's also was important that you don't want to overload people, like you're doing two major things, right? You're dealing with
Right.
personnel and you're dealing with the budget. Budget, you know, I frankly think the budget thing needs to be addressed primarily because of the court rulings that we've had. Yeah, obviously the process that, you know, the process that you have now is really doesn't very limited anyway, so.
Have we received the final ruling?
No. We're not even close to that, but it's final right now, so.
yeah, it's what we have to go by. There's no injunction against it.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, so we'll base it on that and
Okay.
have faith.
So we'll meet on the 24th at 5:30?
Is that our next meeting?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But with Zoom as well? It has to be.
Well,
Uh,
we don't know
yeah.
yet, but I'm assuming we will.
Well, I would think at this point, we should assume so, yeah.
Didn't the
Unless
governor, isn't the current thing until the 30th of January, I think?
Yeah,
February 4th.
It's permissive,
February
it's
4th.
permissive.
Okay,
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
Do I have a
We
motion
nailed
from
this one
Joan?
down.
Do I have a motion from Joan or Jay to adjourn?
Motion to
Yeah,
adjourn.
Wait a minute. Do we need to
Oh.
approve the meeting of minutes
Yes.
from the last meeting?
Actually, I don't think we can because
No, it's defunct.
it was a different committee. Technically, it was a different committee.
That's true.
So what do we do with,
Nothing.
You just
We
leave them
were
as,
starting fresh. We were starting
yeah,
fresh.
but you got to post the minutes, so they're going to sit draft forever.
Well, no, because that committee doesn't exist. It didn't exist once we started this meeting.
It didn't? Okay.
just post them as draft, Joan, that's all. I just post them as draft. Draft unapproved and just note on it, committee
Dissolved
dissolved as of whatever date.
Okay.
December 13th,
Okay.
dissolved by vote of the council on December 13th.
Okay, can do.
Any other business?
That's it.
Other than my dinner.
Yeah, Chris, is
cooking
it? Chris, it's the same link, right?
It is the same link for, so you can just
All
stay on.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
just mute
okay.
yourself and, all right.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
And I'll
Thank
get-
you. Is there a
Second.
second, Jay? All those in favor, all the voting members in favor, wait, Mike, Joan, yes,
Yes.
Jay,